ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The biggest sports stories in Wisconsin. Talked about by Wisconsin sports fans. For Wisconsin sports fans.
What are you talking about? What am I
You're
scared
playing
of?
scared.
Yeah, you're scared. I can see it.
I see the fear in your eyes.
Yeah.
You know who I didn't see the fear in his eyes?
Who's that?
Jackson Churio.
Yeah, no doubt.
But now all of a sudden, Jordan Love is consistently in that top 5 quarterback conversation because he is, dare I say, the word elite.
Why are kids staying out to 1:30 in the morning? It was homecoming. What is going on at 1:30 in the morning for children?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
You saw what Jason did there with the 6'7", trying to appeal to the Gen Z people. Always doing that, Jason. I get what you're doing there.
You're so annoying with that.
What?
This is Sunday Karma, powered by ESPN Wisconsin. Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue. Alongside Greg Scalzo, Alex Strouf, and Kyle Wallace, here's Good Karma Brand's founder and CEO, Craig Karmazin.
Away we go, Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace with you on this Sunday morning until noon. And not a whole lot to talk about. Nothing big happened this weekend that we've been waiting for the last week plus. No happy hours at the American Club in Kohler to discuss. What a location that is, by the way. For a public cocktail hour.
Money team.
Yeah, true that. Brian Gutekunst, Ed Policy, Matt LaFleur spotted in Kohler Thursday night having drinks with one another. And it all leads to the announcement yesterday, broken first by Rob Domofsky of ESPN. Matt LaFleur, a long-term extension, a long-term commitment that will keep the head coach in place for the foreseeable future. And we knew it was coming. It was just a matter of what it looked like. Was it going to be a prove-it deal? Was he going to play out the final year of his extension or only get one more year? What was it going to look like to keep Matt LaFleur in place as the head coach of the Green Bay Packers? And I thought it was interesting, and Kyle, you sent this to me last night. Diana Rossini of The Athletic tweeted yesterday morning before this done deal was announced. Spoke to a league source informed of the negotiations happening in Green Bay regarding Matt LaFleur's extension. Quote, everyone is being dramatic. It's getting done. Dumb organizations do dumb things. The Packers aren't dumb. And yesterday is a signal. It's a sign. It's a tell that while it is the safe move, it's also the smart move. Continuity matters. And for an up-and-coming quarterback, an up-and-coming team that was still the youngest in the league in 2025, continuity matters. And while other changes need to be made and other things need to be addressed, the right move, at least in the Packers' view, was keeping Matt LaFleur as the head coach. And to me, I do view that as the smart move. We talked about it last Sunday, coming off heartbreak and meltdown in Chicago, that maybe making a change was on the table, but it needed to be for the right guy. And while the names of Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh might grab headlines and might seem appealing, nobody can look at me with a straight face and say, yeah, you know who's been better than Matt LaFleur his 7 years in Green Bay? Mike Tomlin. You know who's been better than Matt LaFleur his 7 years in Green Bay? John Harbaugh. Those are guys that might land jobs, and John Harbaugh already did in New York, but the league's passed him by. Matt LaFleur, hopefully, for Packers fans' sake, still has his best years in front of him. And yesterday is a commitment to, hey, we don't need to reinvent the wheel here. We've got a good head coach. When the commentary around if Matt LaFleur was to be let go is, oh yeah, he'll become the number one front runner for every job. There's more jobs this offseason than maybe we've ever seen before. 9 at the beginning. Now we're down to 7. He'll be the front runner. He'll be the favorite to land any job he wants. I think it's probably a good idea not to make a change then. And I think Ed Policy heard that. And I think anybody in 1265 that had anything to do with these negotiations knows that. Matt LaFleur is a damn good football coach, but he needs better people around him. So all of this to say, I'm glad it's over with. I'm glad the negotiations are done. I'm glad the extension is done. Now the real work begins. Now you've got to figure out who's around him. We talked all week about the piece at Acme Packing Company by Justice Mosqueda. They had the most inexperienced assistants in the league of teams that made the playoffs. The least NFL experience, aside from Matt LaFleur, the least NFL experience in terms of his assistants. And one of those guys, the most experienced guy, I think we all know he's got to go, and I'm talking about Rich Bisaccia. What do you do with offensive coordinator? You probably need an experienced guy in there, somebody that can bring new ideas, that can push back on Matt LaFleur, that can help bring this offense to the next level with the $55 million quarterback. You probably need a new OC. Sounds like Jeff Hafley is going to get the Miami job. Probably going to need a new DC. And let's just start over on special teams, please. 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 So the real work begins now that Matt LaFleur has a new contract to likely fill out at least 2, if not all 3 coordinator positions. And I don't know who's going to get those jobs. But let's get some experience in the room. Good move, bad move, wrong move, right move. Talk to us. 800-990-3776. That is the Cardinals Talking text line. And your way into Sunday Karma, 800-990-ESPN. Right move, wrong move. You happy about it? You mad about it? How you feeling? Let us know on the Cardinals Talking text line, 800-990-3776. Appleman in the Orchard. Packers will win nothing with LaFleur.
Oh, here we go.
I don't know about that.
The overreaction.
Oh.
No,
People are out on him.
I get it. I 100% get it. But as a fan of Wisconsin sports, right, if I had to deal with Luke Fickell coming back, I can be okay with Matt LaFleur coming back because Matt LaFleur actually wins games. Now, again, did Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers fail to get to the pinnacle, fail to get to the place that we wanted them to go? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I'm more happy. Oh, sorry. I'm happy. There's the camera. I'm happy that Matt LaFleur is back because I like the level of consistency that we need. This is what you need right now. The Green Bay Packers, I'll keep saying it until I'm blue in the face, and I'm black, so I don't get blue in the face. But I'm going to try. The Green Bay Packers, after the first drive against the Denver Broncos, were a Super Bowl contender. You just saw what the Broncos did yesterday, sending Josh Allen home. The Packers were right there in an elite level as a team. It just all came crashing down with injuries. Don't forget it.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. So you're happy with it. You're fine with it.
Yeah, yes, I'm happy with having consistency. I'm happy with understanding that this team's going to be able to run it back. A lot of y'all have amnesia. A lot of y'all like to be a prisoner of the moment because of what happened in the Bears game. And let me tell you, I hated what happened in the Bears game. I think Matt LaFleur failed. I think special teams failed. I think Jeff Hafley failed. I think the players failed. Everybody played a role in that failure. But either you can blow it all up and start over and learn somebody new and don't know what the future holds, or you can hope that Matt LaFleur, Jordan Love, and the rest of the guys that will be back learn from it. It is not a loss. It is a lesson. And when you have a quarterback who is just 27 years old and you match him up with a young Micah Parsons, who I believe is also 27 years old as well, you have an opportunity, or maybe 26, you have an opportunity to still do something special. Don't blow it up. Don't overreact. Yes, it sucked losing to the Bears, but guess what? That's the same coach that started 11-0 against the Bears. So don't sit here and be all upset about one game. Let's stay the course. Let's trust in Matt LaFleur. And if over the next 2 seasons we decide, and when I say we, Ed Policy says, you know what, this isn't where I want us to be going, then he'll make that decision. But jump on, support the Green Bay Packers, support Matt LaFleur, because if you don't now, I don't want to see y'all doing the Pack Arena next year. When we in L.A., I don't know. For Appleman in the Apple Orchard, when I go up to the Apple Orchard now next season and the Packers is balling out, and you want to talk Packers, you want to talk how good the team look, I'm going to say, you stay over there.
Yeah, I hear you. Well said by Kyle Wallace. Alex Strouf with you here on Sunday Karma. Let's look at some of your YouTube comments because those are flying in. We're live on YouTube if you want to watch us. You can pull us up on your TV. You got a smart TV on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee, at ESPN Madison. Watch. You shower today, Kyle?
I actually showered last night before I went to bed.
Okay.
Why?
Because I didn't, and I was just going to say, if you want to watch our musty asses, you can pull us up on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee.
I
at
smell
ESPN
delightful
Madison.
even after shoveling this morning in the cold.
Good for you. Jalen chimes in. Always been an Alex Strouf supporter, just not today. So Jalen, not a fan of the Matt LaFleur contract extension. Doesn't agree with me on that. Look, I'll say this. On YouTube, it seems like a majority of the reaction is not happy. And there's some talk about Stenovich and some talk about Bisaccia, and we'll get to that throughout the course of the next 2 hours.
Yeah, they should be fine. Stenos needs to be offensive line coach and bring somebody else in. If he doesn't want to swallow his pride and do that, then it is what it is. And Bisaccia should be fired. And like I said on KBN earlier this week, more heads will roll throughout the week. There's going to be changes that happens because, listen, Bisaccia's been here 3 or 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Was this his 4th year? Because we had bad kicker.
Third.
Bad kicker. Wait, whoa, wait a minute. We drafted Anders Carlson.
Yep.
He kicked. And then
I think that was his first year.
And then the following year, that was his first season. Okay.
So no, he's been there since 2022.
All right, so there we go.
22, 23, 24, 25, 4th year.
4 seasons. That's enough time to understand that he needs to go.
You know what I missed is 22, he was just the special teams coordinator. 23, he got that assistant head coach tag.
Which, again, I don't know what he's doing as an assistant head coach. Maybe he's a morale guy. But it's definitely not helping with the game.
Yeah, look, it seems like in the building everybody loves Rich Bisaccia, and there was an article about that earlier this week floating around. I forgot who wrote it, so apologies there. But it was about the fact of effectively that all the players love Rich Bisaccia, and all the coaches love Rich Bisaccia, and the experience and the positivity and the that's great. But if you're extending Matt LaFleur, and I imagine maybe part of the reason it took so long, or maybe they were discussing this over an Aperol Spritz on Thursday night at the American Club in Kohler.
They're drinking expensive whiskey.
I think LaFleur is a wine guy, actually.
Oh, expensive wine.
Yeah. But what they're discussing there is, all right, we're going to bring you back. We're comfortable bringing you back. We think you're a good head coach. You've won a lot of football games here. But something's got to change. Right, we talked about it on Friday. Friday was the 1-year anniversary of Brian Gutekunst's quote about urgency in competing for championships. Okay, it's been a year. You won less games. You were the 7th seed again. You lost in the first round of the playoffs to your arch rival. It's not really signaling improvement, right? You won two less games than you did the year prior. You were the same exact seed in the playoffs, the final team in, and you lost. So now what? Now, how do you get from a 7 seed to a 1 seed or a 2 seed? How do you get back to winning the North? How do you get back to a Super Bowl? That's what it all has to be about now. When Brian Gutekunst traded for Micah Parsons back in August, that was a all-in swing. It was saying, it's do or die. We've got to go win a Super Bowl now over the course of the next few years. This year was not a sign of improvement. You won less games, you're the same seed, you were first-round exit. So now this offseason, whether that's players and you've got a ton of decisions to make, or coaches, something's got to change. Something's got to give. And you need to start making changes. And you're already behind the 8 ball. You look at the teams that lost in the wild card round. Chargers, Eagles, Steelers, all made changes of some capacity. Days, if not the day after, they exited the postseason. The Packers now have waited a week. It's been 8 days since they played the Bears. And it took 7 to get the extension for LaFleur. 0 other changes have been announced. That's what's up next.
You're overreacting again here.
How am I overreacting?
So who's the new offensive coordinator for the Chargers?
Well, they haven't hired one yet.
Oh, okay, but you're behind 8 ball.
Well, they've been interviewing for a week.
But you're behind 8 ball.
You are.
Come on.
The Steelers, if the Chargers hire somebody, that's one less option the Packers have then.
Who's the Steelers' head coach?
But again, Kyle, you're missing the point.
No, I'm not missing the point. This is you overreacting.
It's not an overreaction. They're behind the 8 ball.
They're not behind the 8 ball.
How many interviews have they conducted?
If nobody got hired, you're not behind the 8 ball, brother.
How many interviews have they conducted?
Listen, it doesn't matter.
How many more interviews have the Chargers done for offensive coordinator?
They still haven't hired anybody.
How much clarity do the Chargers have? more than the Packers.
So you're telling me in a span of 4 days the Packers aren't going to catch up to the Chargers? Stop it. Stop overreacting.
They haven't even made an announcement of who the offensive coordinator is.
They have an offensive coordinator. What are you talking about?
Great. So we're just going to run it back?
No, we're not going to. I hope we're not going to run it back, but I'm saying everybody calm down because you're finding something to be mad at. Don't let folks on YouTube, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, ESPN Madison on YouTube, get you all riled up. I love y'all, but don't get riled up, Alex Strouf. Now you're buying into the malarkey.
But hold on. I've told you this all week, though, Kyle. The fact that you haven't made a decision, and again, this was my irritation with the extension, and everybody on YouTube or the text line or Twitter is saying, well, he can't make any staff changes because he doesn't have an extension. He was under contract. Matt LaFleur was the head coach of the Green Bay Packers the entirety of the last week.
Yeah, they weren't making any changes. That's why you didn't hear anything from Goody yet.
Well, if they're not making any changes, then that changed the optics of this extension.
No, they're not making any changes before, I think. Before they got all this stuff figured out.
But you would agree with me on this. You would agree with me on this. If the only coordinator change they make this offseason is defensive coordinator because Jeff Hafley gets a job.
Extremely disappointing.
That's a failure.
No, that would be a complete failure because we all saw with our eyes what that offense was. We all saw with our eyes how poor their special teams has consistently been. And the rankings will tell you as well, you had no kick return game. Your field goal kicker, regardless if that's the special teams coordinator fault or not, your field goal kicker, he choked in the biggest moments. That's why you weren't playing this weekend. And so, somebody has to pay that price. You cannot run it back with everybody in the way that it is on that staff.
And look, maybe Hafley gets this Miami job and Stanovich becomes his offensive coordinator. I don't know. We'll see. Ton to get into. Jason Wilde's going to join us coming up next. He broke the report last night. No organizational structure change. Ed Policy will be the boss of both Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst going forward. No changes there. We will talk to Jason Wilde about that and a whole lot more as we roll on at Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. The Homer Hour with special guests every day from 5 to 6.
Here's the only question that counts. Everything else is crap. Will Ed Policy be able to walk out on the field with Matt LaFleur as the head coach?
The best 60 minutes of your day happens on the Homer Hour.
It could get worse, but can you put that guy in charge of the team and give him an extension?
Weekday afternoons from 5 to 6 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
Start the year moving, not hurting. If your joint pain has been slowing you down, then listen up. There is a way to get real relief without surgery, without downtime, and without putting your life on hold. Dr. Ashley Caravelli and her team at QC Kinetics here in Milwaukee offer regenerative treatments designed to help your body repair the areas causing pain. Knees, hips, shoulders, or back, wherever it hurts. Instead of an invasive operation that takes you out of commission for months, these treatments are done right in the office. You walk in, you walk out, and you get on with your day. No 3 to 6 months recovery. Picture this instead. You're moving better, you're feeling stronger, actually planning the year that you want because you finally took care of that pain the smart way. Game-changing regenerative treatment from QC Kinetics. January is your clean slate. So make it count. Call now for your free consultation at QC Kinetics. Call 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
Come grow with us at Glenroy. For more than 6 decades, our family-owned company has built its reputation on quality, reliability, and providing strong career opportunities in our community. As the packaging industry rapidly grows, so does Glenroy. Here, you'll find competitive wages, a clean, modern workspace, fully vested 401k, yearly bonus award, and the chance to build a manufacturing career with purpose. Apply today at glenroy.com/careers. That's GLENROY.com/careers.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, best-selling author, and founder of the Neal Group. Well, you made it. 2025 is in the books. Or is it? Are your books ready for 2026? Have you been able to plan for 2026 growth? Stop running your business on a wing and a prayer. Or if you feel like you are running your business on a wing and a prayer, Let us help you make sense of your numbers and get your business in financial shape to move forward in 2026. Don't be stuck in the past trying to clean up your books. Get a head start on making 2026 your best year yet. Make the new tax laws work for you to put more money in your pocket. Call us now to see what your business can do. The first meeting is free. Call 414-325-2040 now. You earned it. We help you keep it. That's 414-325-2040, or visit us at nealgroup.net. That's N-E-A-L group.net.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Hey, it's Brian Balaga. Find the Homer Hour on the ESPN Wisconsin app today.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace with you this morning across ESPN Wisconsin. And joining us now, a segment early to break down all of this breaking news for the last 24 hours is the 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, our friend, our teammate, the host of Wilde and Tausch. You read him at channel3000.com, the great Jason Wilde. Joins us this morning. Quiet 24. Jason, how are you?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Life is good, man. Life is good. We've got a ton to get to, so let's dive right in, and we'll get to your reaction on the LaFleur extension in a moment. But I actually want to start with what you broke last night, and that is the power structure. Nothing's changing from that perspective. The general manager and the head coach will report directly to the president and CEO as they have, well, since they've been here. What do you make of that, and why was that such a key part to this story of the Matt LaFleur extension and the eventual Russ Ball and Brian Gutekunst extension?
Yeah, really good question, Strouf. Look, I think it never made sense if you were going to keep all 3 of those leaders in position to suddenly change who's in charge of who, right? Like, that's the kind of stuff that creates infighting and issues and drama. And I think Ed Policy understood that if he wasn't going to change coaches, if he wasn't going to change general managers, it didn't really make sense to say, oh, but now Goody's going to be your boss, Matt, right? And we talked about this leading into this, not knowing if LaFleur was going to be retained or not. Like, that never made sense to me. Like, when they made those changes, and it all started in 2018, right? So Ted Thompson and his health issues lead to a change at GM in early 2018, before the 2018 season. Brian Gutekunst is promoted, but and I think people forget this, at the time, Brian Gutekunst interviewed for the job for it to be the same as it had been with Ted, and the same as it had been with Ron Wolf. And instead, he got kind of switcherooed. If you remember, he was in the Houston airport or had just arrived in Houston to interview for the Houston Texans GM job. And then he was offered the job, and then there was the caveat of, but here's the thing, you and the coach are going to be on the same organizational flow chart plane, and he still took the job. And that was a significant change. Now, there are other beat writers that I think were more militant than I was about whether it was the right decision or not, but the track record is Ron Wolf won a Super Bowl that way. Ted Thompson won a Super Bowl that way. So it was definitely a change. And they haven't won a Super Bowl with it this way. Do I think that's because of the structure? No. But it didn't make sense to change it back now. Now, if they had said, okay, we're going to keep Goody, we're going to extend him, but we think we need a change with the head coach, I think Ed Policy was open to the idea of changing it. But ultimately, in the conversations I had last night with people that work in the building, he didn't see that as being a logical step. And so maybe it stays the same for the next 15 years. Maybe it changes when these guys' extensions are up and there's a change in coaches or GMs. But the bottom line is that he believed that it was more about the people than about the structure, and that he thought the best decision was to keep it as it currently is.
And Matt LaFleur, it's a long-term commitment. It's not a prove-it deal. It's not a prove-it year, but rather the organization says, hey, you've been good for us in your 7 years here. You've won a lot of football games. Let's just stop the crap, stop the buzz, stop the rumors, and let's just lock this thing up long-term. What do you make of the extension?
Yeah, so first of all, I think it's important to understand that this really was not, we need to reconsider after the way the season ended. I think, and I'm not here to speak for Ed Policy, but I think that in the Packers' view as an organization, they believe they were a Super Bowl team with Micah Parsons and with Tucker Kraft. Now, you can, I love and you and I have talked about this repeatedly. The pushback is, look what the 49ers did. And look, last night, the 49ers finally ran out of players, right? And that sucks for them because they weren't even competitive last night. But a year ago, they had a rash of injuries too, and they went 5-12. So whether you agree or disagree with that evaluation by Ed Policy, that was what he decided. He thinks very highly of Matt LaFleur. I can tell you that. And I understand, the very loud sector of Packers fans, and I heard from him again last night. I mean, I get it, but I keep pointing back to this, and I even sent it to a couple people that work in the building. Bill Huber's poll that he took, that ended up with almost 18,000 votes. Okay? Now, is it scientific? Does he work for the Pew Research firm? No, he does not. But he gave people choices. Fire LaFleur, fire Goody, fire them both, or keep them both. And 70% said keep them both. And then there was another small percentage that said just to fire Gutekunst, which I don't agree with either. But you would think if you just listened to the noise, and look, I say this all the time, fans are what make me have a job, right? It allows me to pay for Sid to play club volleyball like I'm sitting at this tournament, right? And so I want fans to feel like they have a voice. But the level of vitriol and hatred and disdain for LaFleur from that very loud portion of the fan base it's really loud. And do I think there are reasonable arguments to make to say, hey, this is going to prove to be a mistake? Sure, I think you can say that. I mean, I know our buddy Rob Domofsky used this factoid too, but the only coach in NFL history who has won a Super Bowl after his 7th season, after not making it to a Super Bowl before that, is John Madden. Now, that's pretty good company to be in, I would say, but it's a pretty small group, right? And then the response is, well, Matt LaFleur has the 16th best winning percentage. Think about all the head coaches that have coached in the NFL in over a century. Matt LaFleur is 16th all-time in winning percentage, and 9 of the 15 coaches that are ahead of him are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Jason, are Packers fans just spoiled?
I don't want to say that they're spoiled, right? I think they're demanding. I think they're frustrated. Do I think they are entitled at times? I do. But I understand it, right? We always joke about this, but fan is short for fanatic, right? And so, their passion, and I've had this conversation with Ed Policy before, and I can tell you that his response to this, if we talk to him, at the podium this week or something else, I think he would say, and I probably will ask him publicly, what do you say to the portion of your fan base that doesn't agree with this and is pretty vehement about how they feel about it? And I think Ed would say, I would rather have them feel that way than not care. I think apathy is what they really don't want. And so, yes, is it loud? But look, and I said this from the very beginning, and I know this wasn't popular, especially on our show, but like the easy thing to do is to listen to that very loud group and placate the fans and say, you know what? Yeah, let's try something different.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, the hard thing, the one that's going to draw criticism and loud criticism from that group is to stick with the status quo. And when you've been the 7th seed the last 3 years and you've won one playoff game, I'm amazed too, by the way, by how the transition has gone from what a great job they did transitioning from back-to-back Pro Football Hall of Fame quarterbacks to Jordan Love. Like, you guys know how I feel about Jordan. Like, I think he's an awesome dude. Every experience I've had with him has been positive, even when I've written or said something that created potential tension. And I think he's a really, really good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think he's a great quarterback? Do I think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback like the two guys that came before him? No, not yet. I'm not saying he can't do that, but let's not say, oh, well, and the other thing that I'm amazed by, I'm starting to rant, and I'm sorry, but like, and look, Aaron Rodgers is 42 years old. I don't know if he's going to play next year or not, but I would argue that Matt LaFleur coming along was a great thing for Aaron Rodgers.
Totally.
Just like Mike McCarthy coming along was great for Brett Favre, right? They both experienced renaissances. I mean, my God, Rodgers won 2 MVPs in this offense with this coach. So he gets criticized for not winning more with Jordan Love, even though he navigated that transition. And you've heard me say this a bunch, Strouf. Like, I sat there in Lambeau Field while they were practicing, and we're all wearing masks during COVID, even though we each sat in a separate entire section of Lambeau, and it's 90 degrees outside. But I watched him. He was terrible. He was. And the Jordan Love I watch now on Sundays, or at least Saturdays, since I feel like they played on Saturday for most of the end of the season, is a totally different guy.
Yeah.
And that, yes, is that Tom Clements? Is that Sean Mannion? Is that Luke Getsy? Yeah, and it's also Matt LaFleur, who's a longtime quarterbacks coach. So I understand it. I understand the frustration for those that feel it. I understand the Packers thinking on running it back with these guys. But let's be honest here. The status quo isn't good enough. Those 3 people in the power structure might be, but there have to be some other changes. And you've heard me say this multiple times over the last week and a half. They need fresh ideas. And I don't know where those are going to come from, but if Adam Stenavich gets an opportunity somewhere else as an offensive coordinator, as a play caller, and he gets that job like he would have gotten Seattle's if Clint Kubiak hadn't blown him away in his interview after Steno, if they get that, who are they going to hire? Are they just going to bring back Nathaniel Hackett? Are they just going to bring back Luke Getsy? Because if they do that, I'm not sure where the new ideas come from if you go about it that way.
I totally agree with you on that. I do want to talk about what's coming up next, obviously, with coordinators and other changes that need to happen now that the extension is in the book, and we will do that next segment. But before we break, I want your opinion, and it's a tough question. It's not an easy one to answer, but I do want your opinion, Jason, and that is, do you believe Matt LaFleur is a good enough head coach to win a Super Bowl in Green Bay?
I do. I mean, look, again, the 2020 season was an outlier for a million reasons, including the fact that it sure is a hell of a lot easier to play at US Bank Stadium and cook offensively when there's nobody to make any noise, right? But that 2020 NFC Championship game, Brady gets a sketchy pass interference call, right, to keep their drive alive. The Packers have nearly zero home field advantage. They finally get an NFC Championship game at home. Rodgers has played out of his mind all year. Like, that team should have been in a Super Bowl, just like Mike McCarthy's 2014 team should have been in a Super Bowl, right? Do I think any of these 3 teams that they've had since Jordan Love has been the quarterback was a Super Bowl team? I think this year's was. A healthy version of this year's team is. But this is not just on Matt LaFleur. Like, you talk about how San Francisco survived all these injuries. One of the reasons why they were able to do that, they had a deeper roster.
Yep.
They had better players to fill in the holes when guys got hurt. So this is on all of those guys. But yes, but I will say this. and I talked to a couple of people about this last night. The fact of the matter is that Matt LaFleur has to be better in big games. Even someone who thinks this is the right decision, which is me, if you're going to win that Super Bowl, you have to be better in big games. And that means how you handle the game in game. It means how you handle preparation. It means your game plan. It means your play calling. It means all those things. And I do think he's capable of that, but it's, now he's got to prove it. And at this point, 2 NFC championship games were a really long time ago. And as he goes into his 8th season now, he's going to have to show that. And that goes back to, and I know we'll talk about it next, but that goes back to the decisions they make in terms of their staff. Like, he needs to, he's going to have to hit a home run again on the defensive coordinator job. He can't settle for a Joe Barry type. Like, he's going to have to, no one knew what Jeff Hafley was going to be. So whoever they hire, Jim Leonard, whoever it ends up being, like, if that happens, he's going to have to be great. And we're not going to necessarily think that right away, unless it's Jim Leonard, because everybody in Wisconsin loves Jim Leonard. But there's some pretty big decisions coming in addition to this one to keep him in place.
All right, that's Jason Wilde, Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace with you here on Sunday Karma. What comes next? That's what we'll dive into coming up next right here on Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
More Sunday Karma coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Is it time to buy an engagement ring?
Or a big anniversary diamond?
Kessler's has diamonds that come from diamond mines.
And we also have diamonds that come from plasma chambers.
When you see the size of the diamond you can afford when you look at our high-tech newborn created diamonds,
you're going to be happy, happy, happy.
And with approved credit, our financing plans make anything possible.
Our selection of engagement rings is beyond compare.
And our custom design department can modify any ring in any way you choose.
Anyone who says they can give you a better ring
or a better diamond
or a better price
has never been to Kessler's.
And our miraculous no small print warranty says,
if you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed.
It's just that simple.
And all maintenance is free forever.
No charge.
Yes, it really is that miraculous.
You found a partner you want to share your life with.
When you're ready to celebrate,
we've got a diamond for that.
Find the Kessler's nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
You've already put in the work. Now there's a way to make it count towards your degree. At Lakeland University, your work and life experience can earn you college credit, helping you finish faster, saving time and money. With flexible evening and online classes, plus multiple start dates, Lakeland fits your life. Study 100% online at one of our 6 locations across Wisconsin or on our residential campus in Sheboygan County. Customize your degree to fit your life, your goals, your future, without missing the moments that matter, at work or at home. Your experience matters here. Lakeland University. Experience it your way.
The Milwaukee Weight Loss Program has been able to change the lives of thousands of people with this incredible metabolic reset program. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no counting points or calories, no drugs, no surgery, and no injections with the risk of serious side effects. There's no better time than now to give yourself the gift of a new you in this new year. Schedule your free consultation now by visiting MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Homer here. I'm starting 2026 off right with Milwaukee Weight Loss. Their team is full of great people who listen to me and my goals through the consultation process. Their program is the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day, and many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or 2. Call for your free weight loss consultation, 262-235-3980, 262-235-3980, or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com, MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. But you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management, know the difference.
Kick off the new year with a smarter home and bigger savings with Exterior Pros and Baths. New windows to lock in the warmth, durable roofing, eye-catching siding, or a stunning bath makeover. Start the year off right and get $3,000 off your project. That's right, $3,000 back in your pocket during our New Year savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. This deal won't last all winter. Exterior Pros and Baths. New year, new home, done right.
Rock a big win this January at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. Don't miss your chance to win a share of $60,000 in prizes every week. Just play with your rewards card for entries. Prize drawings on Thursdays. Plus, your January drawing entries all roll into an even bigger prize drawing in March. Rock on all month long, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play. In season, off season, draft season. Whatever season it is, we are Milwaukee's place to talk green and gold. Listen, watch, or stream live whenever, wherever. 94.5 ESPN. This is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin continues. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace with you in one more segment with our buddy Jason Wilde, three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year. And as we react to the Matt LaFleur extension, which was announced yesterday and reported yesterday, I now wonder what happens next, as Jeff Hafley has two more in-person interviews scheduled tomorrow and Tuesday with the Dolphins and Titans, respectively, for their head coach opening. You're likely going to need to replace your defensive coordinator because he's going to leave for a head coaching job. But what about Bisaccia? What about Stenavich? What about Butkus? What about some of the staff changes as Jason talks about fresh ideas? Let's get into that right now. So, Jason, I view it a little bit differently than Kyle. I view them almost behind the eight ball because they've waited over a week since their season ended to announce any changes. They still haven't announced a change, whether that's Bisaccia or Stenavich or obviously Hafley for different reasons. Should we expect an announcement soon at any point about staff changes?
Kyle or Strouf, I would say this. In the conversations I had last night, one thing I think is important to be very clear about, and I was just about to write about this in between Sid's games, is that Matt LaFleur retains full control of his staff. Now, the question that I have that I did not get answered is, will his budget be different?
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Because that's another piece of whether or not they're going to be successful. So, that's something that I think if you are serious about saying, hey, we believe in these guys at the top and we believe they can get us to a Super Bowl and get us a championship, then you have to make sure that they have all the resources they need. And yes, they have a beautiful locker room and they've got a great nutrition staff and a great strength and conditioning staff and whatever else. But coaches matter. We all know that from all of our experiences in sports. So, I don't know what Matt LaFleur is thinking. I think Matt LaFleur was obviously very concerned about his own status and figuring that out first before he started. But I'm sure he has ideas. You don't go through 18 games, including a playoff game, and not think, okay, I want to do something different here. I want to do something different there. The thing about Matt, and, we know this from experience, is that he's terrible at firing people. Like, he cares about people. He's loyal to a fault. And so I'm very curious to see what he ends up doing. But again, I go back to what we said before the break, and that is, if there are opportunities to hire people that'll bring maybe a variation, like the McVay-Shanahan offense is everywhere, right? But Mike McDaniel's never worked here, and Mike McDaniel's up for head coaching jobs, he's up for OC jobs. The one thing about not being behind the eight ball is, these guys have done interviews, but now the Packers have a plan for moving forward. Now they know it's official now who their head coach is going to be. I mean, I guess it's not technically official, they didn't announce it, but it's official. So now he can get to work on that. So what that looks like and who they might target, I mean, first of all, they have to wait on obviously defensive coordinator, but that doesn't mean Matt LaFleur can't be already making calls.
Right.
Right? Hey, if if Hafley leaves and it looks like he's gonna, we'd really be interested in you. Can you, I know you're going through the interview process right now. Will you interview with us? Like, to me, that's, and what I'm really curious about from that perspective is like, Jim Leonard is a Mike Pettin disciple, but Jeff Hafley kind of is too. Like Jeff Hafley worked with Pettin in Cleveland. So like, is it possible that maybe he makes more sense a second time around and has a chance to come back to the state? Like I know Tausch was kind of pushing that narrative on our show, and I was like, I don't know. I think kind of he had his chance. I know that Matt LaFleur was not pleased when he turned him down the first time. But it ended up, Joe Barry did not work out, so that was bad. But if you hire Jim Leonard, you never have Jeff Hafley, right? And
really quickly, Jake, schematically, Jim Leonard, does it match up? He's been a lot of guys standing up on the ends like we used to have. Would that be a big issue, or you think the guys will adjust?
Well, hold on a minute. Before we get too ahead of ourselves on schematics, would he even be a candidate? Didn't he turn them down when they hired Jeff Hafley? Would they circle back on that?
No. He turned them down when they hired Joe Barry. Now, but again, while I may be one of my worst qualities is grudge holding, I don't think you can be that as an NFL head coach.
Okay.
Right?
Fair enough.
Like if you need a defensive coordinator and he's the best candidate and he's interested and he says, I should probably take that job when you offered it to me. And you say, well, how about now? He says, yes, that's all water under the bridge, right? The one thing I would say to Kyle's question is, I think what Pettin's philosophy was, and I think what Hafley's philosophy was, and I think what Jimmy Leonard's would be too, is I'm going to make the scheme fit the players I have.
Got it.
And I think what Joe Barry did was not that.
Yeah,
right.
That would be fair.
Didn't take enough feedback from players. That was their biggest complaint. So it makes sense to me that could be an option. Believe me, I'm not saying that he's going to be the guy. And look, there's still the outside possibility that Miami or Tennessee or somehow goes a different direction, and Jeff Hafley is still the defensive coordinator for another year. Or, let's say Miami goes a different direction, because I think that would be a job that would make sense for him now that the Giants, which was his dream job, is filled. He knows John Eric Sullivan. I think they're going to make a quarterback change. He could bring in Malik Willis. So they have some options there. But let's say they just decide for whatever reason to go a different direction. If the other jobs are I know there's only 32 of them, but I still think he could do kind of a Ben Johnson from a year ago or 2 years ago, where Ben Johnson had offers, decided to spend another year in Detroit, and then got the job that obviously has been hugely successful for him in his first season. I'm not saying that Hafley is looking for reasons not to take a head coaching job. That's not what I'm saying. But if I'm Jeff Hafley, and I know I've got Micah Parsons coming back, I know I've got Edgerrin Cooper coming back, I know I've got Xavier McKinney coming back, I might be like, you know what, I think I'll probably still be a pretty good candidate a year from now, and I don't have to settle for, the Tennessee job, which what about the Tennessee Titans over the last decade plus tells you that that's a good job to take?
Yeah. I'd be shocked. I hope you're right, but I'd be shocked. I think the Miami job. I think the Miami job just makes way too much sense. But we will see. Obviously, there's other candidates for that job, but I think with John Eric Sullivan there, it just makes a ton of sense. And then I don't know if Malik Willis joins, we can just call them the Miami Packers, and now we all have an AFC team to root for. But we will see. But he's going to have you covered all off season long as the Packers extend Matt LaFleur, and we will see what other changes, what other updates are to come over the course all week on Wilde and Tausch 9 to noon and over at channel3000.com. Jason, appreciate the time as always, brother. Good stuff.
All right, guys. Appreciate you. Take care. Be good.
That is Jason Wilde. And you can sign up for the Extra Points newsletter, all of his Packers coverage at channel3000.com.
There's so many questions, Strouf.
Yeah, more than answers.
I mean, even when it comes to, you were talking about the defensive side of football, we didn't get into the fact that I think and I was trying to match up the dates. There's a coach coaching today as an offensive coordinator who I know would be interested in teaming up with Matt LaFleur.
His brother Mike.
I'm sure he would be interested in teaming up with his brother.
I don't think you could do that.
Why can't you do that? You don't think brothers can work together?
Well, first off, he is the offensive coordinator already, so they would need permission from the Rams to interview.
But I believe
because it'd be a lateral move.
I was told that every 2 years they have to get renewed by Rob Domofsky when he joined us. So at some point.
Well, the Rams aren't going to let him walk.
If you got to get renewed, what if you say no, right? You're not a slave. You get to say I don't want to come back. Your contract isn't a lifetime 360 contract like Death Row Records.
This isn't a family. It's not a family business. You can't no.
Oh, you don't want Mike?
I don't want Mike.
And then I'm thinking about John Eric Sullivan. Who's replacing him?
I don't know.
You make it seem like it doesn't matter.
I mean, it does, but also, who knew who John Eric Sullivan was 2 weeks ago? You didn't.
Yes, I did. What are you talking about? You don't know who some of the guys are?
Well, John Eric Sullivan, you've only heard his name because he's been interviewing for GM jobs for a few years.
Yeah, probably.
But, what does a director of player personnel do exactly in the day-to-day? I'm sure it's an important job by all means. That's how you get to where he got.
I think he helps with, overseas scouting.
I think they'll be all right.
Good.
In that capacity.
They need to hit because this offseason is going to be big.
I'm much more intrigued by the coaching staff and what changes are to come there, if any. And if none happen, like we've discussed, that's failure. You cannot just run it back in 2026. That'd be a mistake. So we will see. We'll continue to unpack that, and then I want to get to, I see a ton of your texts and YouTube comments and all the in-betweens. So want to get that. Want to get to you coming up next on the Cardinals Talking text line, 800-990-3776. More reaction to Matt LaFleur's contract extension and what comes next for the Packers. That's coming up on Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
We were in the postseason what we were all throughout the regular season. A good team that couldn't put four quarters together, let teams hang around, and when you don't have Micah Parsons to clean up.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
You allow, things to happen at the end of games that don't and shouldn't happen.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation. Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-611-3113. That's 800-611-3113.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
At Saturn Lounge, we know if your marketing actually worked, you would know. Your website would perform, not just exist. Your storytelling would inspire, not fall flat. Your integrated campaigns would create impact, not excuses. There'd be no refreshing dashboards, no waiting on a report to explain what happened. It's time to generate quality leads and turn them into customers. Let's make it happen with Saturn Lounge, your marketing partner for clear, measurable results. Visit us today at SaturnLounge.com. When marketing works, it shows.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
According to American writer H.L. Mencken, a well-stocked bar can create over 17 billion different cocktails. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. I don't know if $17 billion is accurate or not, but I do know that Discount Liquor is the place to find everything you need to be well stocked for any occasion. Discount Liquor is Wisconsin's home to over 2,000 varieties of beer, 3,500 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines. Our unparalleled selection is rivaled only by our incredible savings and everyday low prices. And we know how to take care of our customers, no matter the occasion. In fact, Discount Liquor has won numerous national and local awards. Visit Discount Liquor at our Milwaukee or Waukesha locations. Family owned and operated since 1960.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings. Discount Liquor.
In Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow. Check out our specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Hey Tom, I want a new hoop for the kids. Any ideas? Yeah, I got mine from Precision Sports over 10 years ago. They helped me choose the right hoop, installed it, and even painted my court lines. Nice. How do I reach them? Easy. PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
We are going to grind out at bats. You have to throw quality pitches in order to get us out. And then once we get on the base paths, you have to worry about us. It's a different brand of baseball.
On 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace with you. Dancing Kyle Wallace. You like this one?
Yeah, move them hips.
Yeah.
Like Shakira, hips don't lie.
Get it. Here we go.
Gray sweatpants on too, YouTube.
Oh, you know what they call those? I can't say it on the radio, but you know what they call those.
Yeah. Let me stop gyrating.
That's probably a good idea.
Upset some people's husbands because they watch. Keep it on.
Matt LaFleur extended as the Packers head coach. He will remain the head coach in 2026. Extensions expected now for the general manager, Brian Gutekunst, and his right-hand man, Russ Ball, the guy who oversees all the finances. So the Packers running it back in terms of those three guys. But now what comes next? What comes next is the question. We will find out. But I want to get to you on the Cardinals Talk and Text line, 800-990-3776. Let's go to two-phone Corey in Chicago. I got Corey in Chicago. Two-phone Corey. Corey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, Strouf? How you feeling?
Life's good, man. What you got for us?
Okay, all right. I got two hires that the Packers need to really look into. One hire should be offensive line coach Bill Callahan.
Uh-huh.
Great track record when it comes to offensive line. He has great track record. And the name I've been hearing the most on the defensive coordinator side, if Hafley takes the Dolphins job, is Raheem Morris.
Yeah, that's a name. Now, the knock on him, but it was the knock on LaFleur too when he took the head coaching job, Corey, is he's had a bottom 10 defense like every year. He's been a head coach or DC.
Can't be true because he was in L.A.
That might have been his only good year.
And I'm hold on. Let me say this.
No,
and also, I agree with you on Raheem Morris having a bottom half, but anytime he didn't have stars on his defense, he has been a top 5, top 10 defense. Like when he had Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, and we got Parsons and McKinney and Cooper. I believe with those guys in that defensive lineup, that could be a top 10 defense. But the Atlanta defense wasn't as bad as when he had Pierce and all those guys as the edge rushers and those linebackers, Ellis and et cetera. His defense wasn't as bad. The problem was just Atlanta's offense was too inconsistent, and him as a coach, he's not a head coach like you said.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Corey. I think I actually like both those names. Raheem Morris does seem like the front runner if Hafley leaves.
Based off what?
He's the most experienced former head coach.
Based off what intel and information? Let me hear intel information you got. But makes you think Raheem Morris?
Why do I think that? What do I think makes him the front runner? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, based off what?
I don't know that. I'm not saying he is the front runner. I said he seems like the front runner.
Got it. I mean, I thought you were saying he was. No. That, yeah. I mean, I think relationship with LaFleur.
Number one.
Head coaching experience.
Number two.
That was the one thing with Hafley as well that I liked is I don't care that it was college. He knew how to be a leader of men. And with Matt LaFleur being the play caller for the Packers, and so many times he's sitting on the bench with a laptop talking to a quarterback, he's not around when the defense is on the field. And so you don't have somebody who is 100% paying attention at all times when it comes to what's happening for the whole team. You need to have a leader of the defense.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's what makes him such an appealing candidate. Is more what I was saying than reporting that he was the front runner to get a job that's not open.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Bill Callahan, you probably know him from his time in the 90s as the Wisconsin Badgers offensive line coach.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
From 90 to 94. Spent 5 seasons under Barry Alvarez.
It's crazy. He's only 69, though. His son was the coach of the... Yeah.
Only 69.
Whoa. Don't be ageist. His son, I believe, was the former coach for the Titans.
Yeah, he was with the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brian Callahan?
Yeah. He's with the Titans each of the last 2 years as their offensive line coach, so obviously he's looking for work now.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize he was coaching with his son down there.
Yeah. On February 13th, 2024, Callahan was hired by the Tennessee Titans as their offensive line coach to work under his son, Brian.
That's fun.
After the Titans fired his son on October 13th, Callahan left the team the following day. He has not worked since October.
Probably what you want to do.
Got to support your boy, you know?
Yeah, your son gets fired, you got to leave too.
You know what other name people are wanting for defensive coordinator if Hafley leaves?
Who was that?
Al Harris.
I'm people.
Yeah.
I'm people.
Too. I wanted them to hire Al Harris, and it would have been early.
Hafley.
But Hafley, yeah.
I believe he interviewed him for the Hafley job. I'm telling you this right now. Al Harris is ready to go. He coached under now the coach Dan. I can't think of his last name. Dan Quinn. He coached under him in Dallas. That Dallas defense forced turnovers. They were really good. Now they're in the trash. And then in Chicago, though overall team defense is bad, look what they're doing when it comes to forcing turnovers. Mm-hmm. He's the defensive back coach, and I think pass game coordinator. So I'd take him.
Yeah, was the D-backs coach from 2020 to 24 in Dallas. Was also the assistant head coach last year.
He's a dog, man.
And
I'm telling you.
This year he's been in Chicago, defensive backs coach and defensive pass game coordinator.
Dog. He would bring a mentality that we need because we need to be a little bit more intense on that side of the ball.
Yeah. So that would be an interesting name. New ideas for sure. New ideas, and that's what the Packers need alongside Matt LaFleur. New ideas coming up in 2026 as Matt LaFleur officially extended. What comes next is what we'll continue to dive into in the 11 o'clock hour. We will get to our Palermo's picks as well ahead of the final 2 games of divisional weekend in the NFL. Broncos win in overtime over the Bills, which really the Denver referees won that game.
Oh, come on, man.
And,
you tripping. You tripping, man.
And then Seattle just stomps San Francisco.
So what about the holding call that was missed when Josh Allen was in the end zone in overtime? Is that the Broncos referees as well missing that call?
Oh, when he eluded the safety?
Yes.
I mean, come on, Kyle.
It was a holding call.
Yes or no, was that an interception?
Yes, it was an interception. Yes, it was an interception. You have to control the ball. You have to control the ball the whole time when you hit the ground. He did not have control. If you hit the ground and the ball's moving, guess what? You don't have control of the ball.
Is it fair to say we still don't know what a catch is?
No, that was an interception. Now, you want to know what's the biggest crime is when
the pass interference calls after not calling pass interference all game?
Now, those were pass interferences. They definitely were. But
they weren't if it was in the fourth quarter.
Well, I'm going to say, remember when I think it was Micah, when Evan Williams got the interception, I think against the Bears, where they ruled it an incomplete pass, but it never touched the ground?
Yeah.
We never got an explanation about that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Nobody knows what a catch is.
No, that had to be an interception.
Yes.
Like that.
Sure. Operating under those rules, yeah.
That one was the exact same what we saw last night.
Yeah. All right. We got to take a break. When we come back, what do you want to see from the Packers moving forward now? Who needs to go? What needs to be Matt LaFleur's priority checklist this week after he inks his extension yesterday? Let's talk about that coming up next. Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Nail Group. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in. especially if things got messy along the way. The good news? A rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS created by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $150,000 in taxes, because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a plan, clarity, and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Something exciting is happening at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. On the second floor, you'll find the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, Milwaukee's destination for bold flavors, fresh sushi, seasonal entrees, and cocktails crafted with care. Start your day with a breakfast that fuels you, stop in for dinner that sparks conversation, or linger late into the evening with drinks designed to inspire. With flavors and drinks for every mood, the Studio is the perfect place to gather, celebrate, and connect. Be boldly social. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, now on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
Come grow with us at Glenroy. For more than 6 decades, our family-owned company has built its reputation on quality, reliability, and providing strong career opportunities in our community. As the packaging industry rapidly grows, so does Glenroy. Here, you'll find competitive wages, a clean, modern workspace, fully vested 401k, yearly bonus award, and the chance to build a manufacturing career with purpose. Apply today at glenroy.com/careers. That's GLENROY.com/careers.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Get away from this, baby, just yeah. Just this night, please don't look back, yeah.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace hanging with you until noon. Matt LaFleur extended as the Packers head coach. What comes next? What do you need to see? 800-990-3776. Let's just operate under this idea, which I think is the wrong idea to operate under, but we're going to operate under it anyway. Oh, okay, we're jamming quick, actually. All right. You let me know when you want me to talk. Otherwise, you can have your personal dance party back there.
Yeah, I'm trying to be happy and positive.
Who said I'm not being happy and positive?
No, I'm just saying I'm trying to be happy and positive because it still sucks that today we have to watch the Chicago Bears play after the Packers were up 21-3. And Seattle finished the team off and the Green Bay Packers didn't.
Seattle. Whew.
They beat the snot.
Hey, when did Bo Nix break his ankle?
I believe
on the kneel down?
I believe on the kneel down he got pushed, and I think that's when he broke his ankle.
Yeah, I saw that news last night. I went, huh?
I was very confused and disappointed. Very disappointed.
Jarrett Stidham all of a sudden thrown into the AFC Championship.
Stiddy going to be okay.
Stiddy?
Yeah, that's what we call him, Stiddy.
Who's we?
Those who support the Denver Broncos call him Stiddy.
Are you sure? You sure you're not making that up?
I'm 100% positive.
It's the first I've heard that.
Well, because you don't follow the Broncos.
I don't. That's true. I don't.
And Stiddy had a really good preseason.
Stop saying Stiddy. I can't handle it.
He had a really good preseason.
Jarrett Stidham.
Stiddy. That's what.
Stop.
Do people call you Stroufy? People don't even call you Alex. So what do you mean talking about stop? People call you Stroufy.
Right, but that's my full last name, and then you're adding a letter.
That's different.
Stiddy.
Yeah, they call him Stiddy.
I also don't know that he'd appreciate having a name that rhymes with Diddy in this day and age, you know?
It also rhymes with something else that we love.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really, really good point by you. I can't handle you today.
Kitty. We love kitties, don't we? Meow.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's what you meant by that, for sure.
100%. I love cats.
Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin. I don't know what the hell that was. Hopefully he doesn't play with something else that rhymes with Stiddy, you know? describe his play.
Oh yeah, hopefully not. That'd be hard. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Yesterday, Mama Wallace was watching that Broncos game yesterday. Barely even watching. She wasn't even watching. She said she couldn't watch it.
So hold on, we need to add some context here. Jordan Turner, your cousin, is a linebacker.
Plays for the Broncos. He's a linebacker, special teams guy. Had a tackle yesterday or assist. So shout out to him. My mom, I'm talking to her during the game. She said, "I'm just so nervous. I'm nervous." And then she texts the whole group chat at the end. Heart attack. I'm like, heart attack? She said, yeah, my watch told me, hey, maybe you need to rest. Your heart rate is high. She wasn't even watching the game. She was just so nervous in overtime. I'm like, Mom, listen, at the end of the day, whether or not they win or lose, the kid's living out his dream. Like, yeah, we want him to win, but it ain't nothing to have a heart attack over, man. She wants to go to the game next week. I don't think it's good for her health.
I don't know that it is either. You going?
I don't know. I just got a call from them. They're excited. They're ready to go down to Denver. So I gotta figure it out. You only get so many free tickets.
Sure.
And so and
they're not gonna be cheap.
No, we're talking about $500. I mean, am I paying $500 to go to an AFC Championship game, or do I just save it all for a Super Bowl?
Well,
if they get to go to a Super Bowl, I would much rather go to the Super Bowl. Good Karma Brands, he'll pay for it.
Got to see what New England and Houston are made of today. But yeah. Denver will host the AFC Championship game next week. Okay, I want to get back to Matt LaFleur, though, and what comes next. What do you, as a Packers fan, want to see Matt LaFleur take care of this week? As we await, obviously, the decision for Jeff Hafley, will he take a head coaching position? Then who does he bring with him? What does Matt LaFleur have to fill out in terms of a coaching staff? I saw the comment earlier. Why is Rich Bisaccia employed, and why hasn't Rashawn Gary been cut yet? Yeah. That's going to come, but we can wait some time before they need to make any player decisions. It's the coaching decisions that I'm intrigued by, because I don't know how you make the case for Rich Bisaccia to hang around anymore. It's been 4 years. The special teams has been a disaster. You have another kicking meltdown, which again I have a hard time blaming Bisaccia for that, but Bisaccia is the one that single-handedly picked Brandon McManus, and he left 7 points off the board on Saturday against Chicago. So another special teams meltdown there. Kick and punt returner. You saw McCole Hardman returning kicks last night. Huh? Scored a touchdown for Buffalo.
Yeah. You also saw Darnell Savage.
Yeah, get burned. That's true.
Yeah. Honestly, when he went in the game, I told baby girl, my fiance, I said, oh, he used to play for the Packers. He sucks. And literally, minutes later.
I had the same conversation, yeah. Same exact conversation. Yeah, he's horrible. And she said, "Oh, was his number 21? Like 21 Savage?" I said, "No, it was not."
He probably would have been better.
Probably. But Bisaccia, I just don't know how you make the case for him to come back in 2026.
There's no reason to. Honestly, what we have to understand here as Packers fans is that we just know the group of coordinators that we have and coaches that we have. There are so many other coaches. There is some 31-year-old special teams rising or some coach on the staff that's 31 years old that will run circles around what Rich Bisaccia is doing. At the end of the day, yeah, Rich Bisaccia came in with a track record of being successful, but it didn't work out. Now, is it Rich Bisaccia? Is it always the special team coordinator's problem? Probably not. It might go to the general manager from Ted Thompson all the way now to Goody that they're not drafting enough depth in order or emphasizing enough on finding guys that can be special teams aces. So, I mean, Rich Bisaccia may have to be collateral damage in this.
Yeah. I think so too. I don't know how you advocate for him. And I see a mixture of reaction coming in on Bisaccia. Somebody says Bisaccia is fine. He'll be back. The Packers made their decision by extending LaFleur to run it back. I don't think that's the case.
True. That's not true.
We'll
at
see.
All. Do you think those conversations they were having was about, oh, this team was so close? No, they're having conversations about the future. They're having conversations thinking about how do we come together. I think the one thing that is missed from all of this is the conversation was about making sure that they're all aligned. They're all aligned in a vision. And there's been so many rumors out there about who gets to say and what. I'm glad there's a little bit more clarity, and it seems like Matt LaFleur doesn't get to pick who they're drafting and guys are going to get, but Matt LaFleur and his staff have a say and influence, and Goody gets to make the final decision. But it's good to know that the silos that we believe that it isn't as siloed as we thought, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Here from Puddin on YouTube. No changes forthcoming. Nope. Packers had their chance to make changes. Just keep the status quo. That was the decision. You guys don't get it. LaFleur likes Bisaccia. He said it. Yeah, he likes everybody. But
he liked Joe Barry, too.
He liked Joe Barry. He liked Mo Drayton. Can't always stick with the status quo, and I think that's become more and more evident the longer Matt LaFleur has been the head coach. Now,
they fired the D-line coach, too, last year, right?
They did?
Yeah. I mean,
they brought in Marcus Covington, who's getting looks as a defensive coordinator candidate across the league, interviewed with the Cowboys. I think if we can all agree on one flaw of Matt LaFleur, and he has several, but if we can all agree on one, it's that through his tenure as the Packers head coach, he's been too loyal to some of his assistants. He's waited a year too long to make changes when changes are necessary. I think you could make the case already. He's waited a year too long with Rich Bisaccia. Time's up now. Offensively, you need somebody new as an offensive coordinator. And it's not that I think Stenavich is a bad coach. I think he'll likely get an opportunity somewhere if the Packers were to move on from him, or he might just move on from the Packers if he gets a play calling opportunity, say with Jeff Hafley. But they need fresh ideas. They need somebody with ideally head coaching experience, since they're losing that in Jeff Hafley. And as you mentioned earlier, Kyle, I know he's never been a head coach in the NFL, but he's been a head coach at the collegiate level. Came from Boston College as the head coach to become the defensive coordinator in Green Bay. You want somebody that's led a program before or led a team before. That's ideally you want at least one head coach assistant. Rich Bisaccia was an interim head coach. Jeff Hafley, a former college head coach. Like, you have some head coaches along him or aside him. But I think the Packers, I think their best move this offseason would be a complete refresh in terms of coordinators. New offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator for different reasons. You'd like to bring Hafley back if he does come back, and you'll allow him to come back, and then new special teams coordinator. I think you completely refresh all three, and hopefully that process begins this week. Now, you wait for Hafley to make a decision, and maybe you wait for Stenavich to make a decision, but you can't bring back Nathaniel Hackett. You can't bring back Luke Getsy. Fresh, new ideas, ideally.
I thought that was interesting by Jason with Nathaniel Hackett, because Hackett helps on the defensive side of the football.
Right.
And I didn't think that the team struggled when Nathaniel Hackett was the offensive coordinator. But I'm all good with new, fresh ideas. I've been beating the drum for having to bring in somebody else that can challenge Matt LaFleur, but also assist Matt LaFleur. Really seem like he's not just a buddy. And I don't know the relationship between Adam Stenavich, the offensive coordinator, and Matt LaFleur. Clearly that they have some type of relationship, but I don't know if it's one of those relationships where you can call your buddy out or you're really uplifting your friend. What we saw with this offense is that it just seems that in some biggest moments, we didn't have somebody there to help him be creative. And I watched yesterday against the Broncos versus the Bills. I mean, Josh Allen is a stud for the Bills, but there were certain go-to calls that Sean Payton went to, because Sean Payton was cooking. And I'm sure he has somebody helping him when it comes to, ideation of what we're going to do in certain situations. It's just we were missing that against the Bears. The Packers did not have a play in the first three drives in the second half to just move the chains. Just imagine if the Packers got 2 first downs on the first drive to open the half. You're talking about taking off 3 to 4 minutes of the clock. We may be having a different conversation. The momentum, where you're punting from, it's just different. The mentality and mindset, the crowd getting out of the game. The crowd gets back in the game, we get a 3 and out. Right? So
yeah.
It's a lot of different scenarios that led to that loss, and the Green Bay Packers need to make sure that they evaluate and fix every single thing that went wrong against the Bears and also this season.
Got to tell you about our friends over at Gruber Law Offices. Gruber Law Offices has a reputation for winning. Their experienced and powerful team works tirelessly to help people and families seriously injured in accidents, but providing the best care and service. We talk about local all the time. Gruber Law Offices has been local for over 35 years, helping families in Wisconsin that are seriously injured in auto accidents. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all. Never a fee until your case is won. Free case evaluations. Gruber Law Offices does it all. Gruber Law Offices, you know the saying, one call, that's all. Gruber-law.com. We continue to talk about the Packers. We'll continue to talk about the NFL playoffs. What comes next for Green Bay after Matt LaFleur's contract extension and all the in-betweens. That's up next right here on Sunday Karma.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hey, Tom, I want a new hoop for the kids. Any ideas?
Yeah, I got mine from Precision Sports over 10 years ago. They helped me choose the right hoop, installed it, and even painted my court lines.
Nice. How do I reach them?
Easy. PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote.
People say buying a home in winter is tough.
But fewer buyers means less competition, and motivated sellers can mean better opportunities.
This is Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
And I'm Lindsay Bendler. When the perfect home appears, our team at Tony Wendorf & Associates helps you move fast, even during the snow.
Start your home journey today with our white glove service by simply searching online Tony Wendorf.
A real estate team that always leads with faith and gratitude.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
At Saturn Lounge, we know if your marketing actually worked, you would know. Your website would perform, not just exist. Your storytelling would inspire, not fall flat. Your integrated campaigns would create impact, not excuses. There'd be no refreshing dashboards, no waiting on a report to explain what happened. It's time to generate quality leads and turn them into customers. Let's make it happen with Saturn Lounge, your marketing partner for clear, measurable results. Visit us today at SaturnLounge.com. When marketing works, it shows.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Craving that crispy, cheesy, thick Detroit-style pizza? Well, now you got it with Screamin' Sicilian. Screamin' Sicilian delivers the crunch, the gooey cheese pull, and that light, airy crust that you love, all baked in its own pan for those crave-worthy caramelized edges straight from your home oven. You got the cheese, the pepperoni, multi-meat, or supreme. It's like dining out, but without the hefty bill. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer section. Screamin' Sicilian, Detroit-style, thick, crispy, unapologetically screamin'.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee. Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video. Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Rolling on Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin, Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace. And you know, I'm getting a sense of anger and disappointment from the Packers faithful today.
I haven't been on YouTube. They mad.
Yeah, they're not thrilled.
I mean, you know, we are entitled, in which we should be entitled. But at the end of the day, championships for teams are few and far.
I think you're throwing the word entitled around too loosely.
No, we're entitled.
No, we are.
Hold on. Winningest coach, I think, in the first 7 seasons as a coach, and we want to fire.
But let me explain. I agree that Packers fans are entitled. I think most sports fans are entitled because the ultimate goal is one thing. It's winning championships, right? And we are now further removed from Super Bowl 45 than we were from the previous Super Bowl win.
Time flies when you're an adult.
Yeah, but this is now a longer wait to win Super Bowls than it was since Favre won his and Rodgers won his.
Favre didn't lose Reggie White, and Rodgers didn't lose Clay Matthews.
Okay. Bless you. Also, bless you again. Also, you told me how the Packers aren't behind the 8 ball because they haven't made any staff changes. Well, that's wrong because 23 minutes ago or so, we got a call from our buddy Corey in Chicago, and he said, hey, I want to see the Packers hire Bill Callahan as their offensive line coach. And just like that, Bill Callahan's got a new job. Mike Garafolo, NFL Network, reporting that Bill Callahan will join Kevin Stefanski's staff in Atlanta as their offensive line coach. So there's a candidate off the board.
Because he's a legitimate candidate.
What?
Because he was a legitimate candidate to join the staff.
Well, if the Packers want to upgrade positions and position coaches.
You think they were really going to hire Bill Callahan?
I mean, he's an option. He was a free agent. Why wouldn't... Here's the thing you're forgetting.
What am I forgetting?
The Packers are a destination for coaches. They're a good team. They've been in the playoffs each of the last 3 years. Coaches want to coach in Green Bay.
I'm not saying I don't think Matt LaFleur is going to reach out to Callahan though.
I'm just using him as an example though, Kyle.
Okay, yes, you're absolutely right.
New York and Atlanta have entire staffs to build out.
He's an option.
There's going to be more dominoes that fall this week. By this time next week, I bet most of, if not all 9 positions will be filled.
Oh, 100%. Now, if nothing happens throughout next week, then I'll be concerned.
Okay. So,
but we have literally
we're getting to the point where you're almost nervous.
No,
and we're at the point where I'm nervous about changes.
If we get to Wednesday or Thursday and there's not rumblings out the building, because as you know, Jason Wilde, Rob Demovsky, and other folks who cover the Green Bay Packers, usually there's some rumblings about the Packers are thinking about this, they're thinking about that, and that I want to hear. If I don't hear anything, if it's just crickets, like they're running it back, then I'd be frustrated. But as of right now, no. By Wednesday, I will start being concerned.
Okay, Wednesday. I'm going to hold you to that.
Kyle Burson Norton, 2-5. Hold me to it.
Something I love about this show, though, that we do on Sundays. It's called Sunday Karma. Craig Karmazin and Greg Scalzo off today. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace with you.
All forever. Boy, they did one show in the new year, and they said, all right, I'm up out of here.
Peace. Yeah, I'll give Scalzi a little bit of a break.
Nobody says anything either.
Yeah, I know. Well, I knew, but I wasn't sure if Greg was going to where he is. I think we can reveal. He's a Patriots fan. He's in Boston.
No, he didn't give me the green light, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I think he'll be all right. So he went to the playoff game. So I'll cut him a little slack on that one. I don't have a problem with him going. I don't know what Craig's up to, but Craig's busy.
He said he was going to Chicago.
Oh, is he going to the game tonight, I assume?
That I don't know.
So, hey, as sports radio hosts, they're taking in sports. I'll give it to them. I'll let it slide today. Because didn't you just tell us last segment that next Sunday you might be off?
And the last time I was down in Denver, what did I do?
You called in.
Okay. No, I didn't call in. I was on YouTube's.
Well, that's calling in.
No, a video.
FaceTime isn't a call?
No, a video. I was on video.
You sound like the oldest man on planet Earth. Okay. But anyway, what I was saying is something I love about the show is every week it seems we have a name that comes up that nobody planned on bringing up, and it becomes a theme of the show. And I think today's is Bill Callahan.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't expecting a Bill Callahan drop.
And now this is the third segment we've brought up Bill Callahan as he gets hired in the middle of our show.
It is interesting.
By Kevin Stefanski in Atlanta. So 2 of the 9 jobs now filled. John Harbaugh has agreed to become the head coach of the Giants. Kevin Stefanski has agreed to become the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons.
He's only 42 years old.
Who's Stefanski?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's younger than LaFleur.
He looks 55.
Because he's got the silver fox look going on?
I don't know if it's so much a silver fox, but he looks old.
Okay.
He's legitimately, he's a couple years older than me.
How old are you?
35. I'll be 36 soon.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, not that soon.
Okay.
You don't know my birthday? That's wild.
It's my half birthday. It's June 7th.
Oh, wow. I didn't ask you to put my bidding out there. But
you just said you don't know my birthday.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't say.
So in January, you said I'll be 36 soon. In 5.5 months.
Closer to 36 than I am 34.
That's true. What's going on around here, man? Let's get to some of your thoughts. 800-990-3776, 800-990-ESPN. Your way into Sunday Karma. Ryan chimes in, says Matt LaFleur won't make any changes. Chef Ed chimes in. LaFleur needs to fire Bisaccia. Love needs to take charge and call more audibles. Okay, we want some more line of scrimmage action like Aaron Rodgers back in the day. Dance and Danny, I think this text was for Jason Wilde, but I'll answer it. What did Edrin Cooper and Xavier McKinney do during the 2025 season to convince you they are so special? Well, number one, Edrin Cooper, before he went out of that Bears game, was having the best game of his season. And he had
in the playoffs, yes, he was.
A little bit of an up and down year, no doubt.
I will say this is I don't go back and watch every single snap of every single player, but I do believe the role that Edrin Cooper had last year was different than what was asked of him this year. The presence that we saw in the backfield and the pressure that he got was simply because we needed him to be able to have that presence be felt rushing because we could not rush with four. When you had Micah Parsons, you were probably having him play at the line of scrimmage. When I say play at the line of scrimmage, meeting guys at the line of scrimmage like he did in the first Bears game. Remember, he was balling. His helmets was popping, right? And so I think his role changed.
Yeah. Now he's going to be asked to do more next year if they don't bring back Quay Walker. Quay Walker is a free agent.
Which they shouldn't.
Probably not for the price. They probably can't afford him.
Yeah, and
I thought he had a good year, though. I'd like to see him back, but I don't think they'll be able to make the math work.
I think as a Packers fan, just yesterday, if you watched football yesterday, you saw linebackers who weren't first-round picks, but are just as good or better than Quay Walker. He's replaceable. I like Quay, but I think he's replaceable. So if you're going to find somebody who's not going to cost you $14 million, $15 million, you should go in that direction. You can draft somebody, which Edrin Cooper showed you that. You can legitimately draft somebody in the second or third round of this year's draft that will be just as good as Quay Walker and maybe even better. Mm-hmm. And, some say Quay was played out of position. I don't know if he's supposed to be a Mike linebacker in the middle.
Yeah, but obviously that's a hole you're going to need to fill. And Ryan in Milwaukee points this out. If Goody wants urgency like he asked for last year, he needs to make up for the Nate Hobbs and Aaron Banks signings. Not his best year in free agency.
Oh, Nate Hobbs said he's going to be the best player on the defense next year.
Yeah.
Let him tell.
I don't know if he'll be back.
He shouldn't be back.
He did sign a 2-year deal, so he is under contract.
I thought it was a 4-year deal.
Might have been 4.
It's a 4-year, $48 million deal, but they have an out.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Is they have an out after 2? I think they can actually save a couple $1 million by cutting him.
They should definitely cut him. Simply because I believe he's replaceable. Again, if a guy has cost you all this money to be replaceable, get rid of him.
Something I'd like to see the Packers do, and we'll see. Obviously, we're 2 months away from free agency. We're 3 months away from the draft, and they don't have a first-round pick. But the Packers 2 years ago, you brought up Darnell Savage earlier. They completely overhauled the safety position. They got rid of Darnell Savage. They signed Xavier McKinney. They drafted 3 safeties in that draft: Evan Williams, Catano, Ladapo, Javon Bullard, and Williams and Bullard have become really big parts of this defense. And obviously, McKinney went all-pro his first year in Green Bay, but completely overhauled that position. You need to do that with cornerback. Free agent signing. You have Valentine in the room. You likely have Nixon back.
Yeah,
but you need to spend some draft capital on corner, which they didn't do last year. They only spent a 7th-round pick on Micah Robinson, who's not even on the team anymore.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you. Carrington Valentine, we both are fans of his, but we saw some of the flaws that he has.
He can't tackle.
He was one of the worst tacklers in the NFL.
Can't tackle.
And that is a big piece of playing the game of football. And I think overall, Carrington is good. But if you want to be Super Bowl level, you need guys to make big plays. And if you watch games yesterday, again, throughout the playoffs, there's guys that step up at the cornerback position that make big plays and big moments. The Packers just do not have that. Again, I do think that Keyshawn Nixon was good inside. I think he was fine this year, but you have to continue to upgrade. If you are looking to win a Super Bowl, you want to maximize each and every position. The cornerback position wasn't as good as it needs to be. The defensive line, when you lost Devontae Wyatt and you lost Micah Parsons, the defensive line was basically a shell of itself. You have to improve those 2 areas if you think this team can win a Super Bowl. They were already a Super Bowl caliber when you had guys healthy. Now you need to make sure that when you lose these guys, you have people who can be serviceable. Because right now, Rashawn Gary, at the end of the day, he was not serviceable. He wasn't. When Micah Parsons went out, you needed him to step up. And to be honest, he got surpassed by Lucas Van Ness, who actually popped more than he did.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, all right. It's been almost 24 hours. We can take a deep breath. We know what's happening with Matt LaFleur. Seems like Brian Gutekunst will also get an extension at some point this week. Maybe we'll get a press conference. We haven't heard from Goody since the Micah Parsons trade. He didn't talk in the bye week. He didn't talk at the trade deadline. He has a postseason press conference. So hopefully we hear from Goody soon. Because I'd be curious how he views this season, how he views his performance in terms of talent evaluation and putting players on this roster. Matthew Golden was the first-round pick. He wasn't really utilized until the playoff game. I'm just curious how internally this season's evaluated, because record-wise they slid backwards. They won 11 games in 2024. They won 9 games in 2025 and lost their last 5.
Would you call us obviously slide backwards record-wise, but when you look at this team as a whole, and I think a lot of people are judging based off the last 5 weeks versus the full 18-game season, which was not perfect, wasn't perfect at all. Do you think the team actually took a slide back, or do you think the last 5 games without Micah Parsons on the field and Devontae Wyatt on the field, and without Zach Tom, you realize, boy, we need more depth?
Yeah, I think both can be true. I don't know that this team was ever significantly better than it was a year ago outside of the first 2 weeks of the season.
I don't know, man.
Those first 2 weeks, they looked like the best team in the NFL, and then they just really didn't. They go to Cleveland, they lose, they tie in Dallas.
After the 4-game winning streak they had going into Denver,
you felt good about it.
They were starting to peak. Like they were starting to hit.
That was their peak
because they were. You're right, because Tucker Kraft was gone too. Like I'm telling. Again, I understand it's an excuse, but it's a legitimate excuse when you're talking about 3 guys that are Pro Bowl caliber type guys, and 2 of them in Zach Tom and also with Tucker Kraft, which may one day be all pro guys. Like they're top 5 at their position.
Kyle, I hear you. But the lack of depth, who does that fall on?
That falls on Goody.
Exactly. That's the point I'm making.
That falls on Goody.
So that's why I'd be curious to hear his evaluation. And Jason made the point about an hour ago when he was with us. San Francisco gets all the credit in the world because they're so beat up, but they're still winning games. They obviously won a playoff game last week. They got eliminated last night after getting stomped by Seattle. But John Lynch probably just had better players in terms of number 35 through 45 on their roster. They had better players than Green Bay. They were deeper at several positions. The 2 biggest holes this year for the Packers were defensive tackle and cornerback. And Goody has, drafted 3 total in the first 3 rounds in his tenure? Jair Alexander, Eric Stokes, Devontae Wyatt. I think that's it.
Devontae, no. Rashawn,
Josh
Gary,
Jackson,
Lucas Van. Oh, you're talking about
tackle.
corner.
Tackle and corner.
Tackle, got it.
I think
in the first round?
In the first 3 rounds.
Yeah. No,
I think it's only Josh Jackson, Eric Stokes, Jair Alexander, and Devontae Wyatt. I think those are the only 4 at defensive tackle and cornerback in the first 3 rounds under Goody.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, yeah.
That's concerning. So hopefully that's something that's addressed this year. But you don't have a first-round pick. At least you don't right now.
And here's the thing. I don't even need a first-round pick.
What do you mean? You don't think they're going to sign and trade LaFleur now?
No, I don't. Listen, I know his track record of drafting first-round picks is not good, so I don't even care about it. I'm dead serious. I understand, oh, my gosh, they got most potential. Well, if a guy keeps swinging and missing because he drafts off potential and the potential isn't coming about, then I don't care about it. I want him to start drafting guys that produce. When you look at the draft class from 2 years ago, when we're talking about 3 of the best guys in that draft class, we're talking about who? Edgerrin Cooper, Evan Williams, Javon Bullard. What all did they do in college? Extremely productive. Javon Bullard, championship team type guy. Big plays and big games. Edgerrin Cooper, one of the best inside linebackers coming out that year. Evan Williams produced in college. Like, I need production. Bumps this potential. This team is so close to winning the Super Bowl. We need guys that can step on the field, that have a track record of making plays, making tackles, and winning games. That's what I want. Leadership.
AJ chimes in and says, you're also ignoring that Kenny Clark left in the Micah trade, not part of the original plan. That's true.
It is, yeah.
But they didn't backfill that at all. They left undrafted free agent Nazir Stackhouse on the roster, which is fine.
And when you lost, and T.J. Sladen, who didn't have a great year in Cincinnati, he was good for the Packers.
He was, and they let him walk. They let him walk in free agency. So
they probably don't let him walk. I mean, honestly, the Packers lost more in free agency than what they gained. Because if you bring y'all,
it was a bad year.
Y'all hated the center, but guess what?
A huge hole.
Yeah. T.J. Sladen. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't a superstar, but he helped you stop the run. He was a good player. If you keep those guys instead of signing Banks and signing Nate Hobbs, we may not be in this. Who knows what happens? Because those free agent signings, it was a wash. It was a wash. They weren't good.
We'll end on this, and then we'll get to a break.
Hartman got cut. Who else did they sign in and work out?
It's a long list. We'll end on this because we got to hit a break. The Brotherhood Sports chimes in and says, don't worry, Nate Hobbs will fix this. Yeah, that's what he thinks. That's what he said. Going to be the best player on the defense. On a defense with Micah Parsons. Nate Hobbs is going to be the best player on the defense.
I love the confidence these cornerbacks.
Irrational confidence.
It's
necessary.
It's the reason why I was only Division III bench warmer and I wasn't a Division II bench warmer is because I didn't have irrational confidence.
Yeah, that's why you didn't make it to the league.
Nah, there's other.
Oh, that was the knee injury?
No, the knee injury kept me from being D2. The knee injury derailed my career. It did. I tore both my ACLs. What can I say, man? I'm a has-been.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Should have seen my tape, man.
I got good film.
When I played for Whitefish Bay, bro.
I got good film.
I've
got good film.
I was getting calls from all over the country.
Nope, just all over Division III and a couple Division II in Minnesota.
You should have seen my tape, man.
Midwest Combine, Elite Combine participant.
Man, I was so close to making the league.
So close to.
Could have changed my family's
not being
lives.
on scout team at UW Whitewater.
Could have changed my family's lives. Should be me out there. Who's Al Harris? I'm Kyle Wallace. I could be the Packers' next DC if I just didn't tear my ACL. Damn. More Sunday Karma coming up after this.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
It's a new year, and everyone's talking resolutions. Eat better, move more, give up everything fun. Yeah, Carbless says you don't have to do that part, because when you reach for a Carbless, you're choosing a better-for-you cocktail. With 0 carbs, 0 sugar, only 100 calories, and full of flavor, you can stay on track with your New Year's resolutions without having to commit to dry January. Start 2026 with balance, not guilt. Your goals matter, and your fun does too. Carbless, your New Year's first good decision.
The Milwaukee Weight Loss Program has been able to change the lives of thousands of people with this incredible metabolic reset program. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no counting points or calories, no drugs, no surgery, and no injections with the risk of serious side effects. There's no better time than now to give yourself the gift of a new you in this new year. Schedule your free consultation now by visiting MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Josh DiMaggio here, and I'm starting 2026 off right with Milwaukee Weight Loss. Their team has been absolutely amazing through the consultation process, and they even created a customized plan for me and my weight loss goals. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. Call for your free weight loss consultation, 262-235-3980. That's 262-235-3980, or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
4 years, it's enough time to earn a college degree, to serve a full term as a president, to raise a toddler into a kindergartner, to train for something big and become someone new.
Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is offering 0% interest for 4 years, so you can invest in your home and use your hard-earned savings for life's biggest moments. Offering Pella exclusive features like blinds between the glass and customizations to match every home style. We believe in providing our customers with the highest quality products and top-notch service at a price you can afford. Tested, safe, durable, and backed by a limited lifetime warranty, Pella is rated #1 for craftsmanship, innovation, and exceptional design.
So aim high and think long-term when setting your New Year's resolution. And imagine what you can accomplish in 4 years when you finance your home project with Pella Windows and Doors Wisconsin. Start your journey today at PellaWI.com.
The pursuit of fair wages and top-of-the-line benefits is achieved when the right union has your back. The Sheet Metal Workers Labor Union is extremely diverse, representing Wisconsinites working HVAC, architectural metals, welding, specialty fabrication, and much more. Make great living wages with outstanding benefits, pensions, and apprenticeship programs in trained, safe working environments. The Sheet Metal Workers Union is a leading force in the revitalization of the labor movement in Wisconsin.
Kyle Broston Nortman, KBN.
It is okay for us to say Jordan Love is successfully following in the footsteps of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. That is a guy that I want.
On 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. More Sunday Karma coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin. About 15 minutes left with you as we continue to react to the Packers' extension of head coach Matt LaFleur. Long-term commitment for him to stay as the head coach in Green Bay. And now it's on to the offseason. Now that box is checked.
Time to hop on Goody behind.
Yeah. Free agency about 2 months away. So you're not going to make a ton of roster decisions between now and then. But you'll make some. But also, I mean, the big thing right now, I think for me, if you can't tell, talking with us the last couple hours, is you need to figure out who the assistants are. And it's looking like Jeff Hafley is the front runner. Are you going to ask me my sources on that? It looks like Jeff Hafley is the front runner for Miami.
That was a report that came out.
Okay. So you're not going to ask my sources on that.
Oh, do you have a source?
I'm asking you.
What are your sources on that? Do you have any other source than what we saw that came out publicly that everybody else got, or are you?
My source tells me that Jeff Hafley is the favorite to land the Miami job and is also the favorite to land the Tennessee job.
Wow.
So he might have options.
Wow, that's impressive.
Aside from coming back to the Packers.
What a source that you have.
My sources also tell me on Twitter that Mike McCarthy is interviewing in person with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's a Pittsburgh native, obviously beat them in Super Bowl 45, so Mike McCarthy could land a job this week as well, the former Packers head coach.
Probably a bad move for them, to be honest.
Bring him as the OC, huh?
Yeah, I mean, no. But why I say a bad move is that the Steelers, you got to find, they usually like to get the young up-and-coming, somebody that's going to be there for 20 years. Mm-hmm. Mike McCarthy ain't going to be there for 20 years.
Yeah.
He'll get old and stale.
All right, we got to get to our Palermo's picks. 2 games remaining this weekend in the divisional round.
Are we going to talk Giannis?
2 o'clock. I don't want to talk about the Bucks. They make me sad.
Yeah, I mean, it should make you really sad that Giannis probably is leaving the Bucks. I mean, I'll be leaving the Bucks in a couple of weeks, huh?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah. That's fair.
Do you blame him? I mean, his team sucks. I mean, and it sucks simply because they don't. I heard Rajon Rondo talking about how the guys just don't know how to play their role, excel in their role, and that falls on the head coach. So, I mean, the Bucks, they're no good.
Well, they've lost 3 in a row. They're back at it tomorrow on Peacock.
It's a really nasty 2 games.
They're at the Hawks at noon on MLK Day tomorrow, so a midday game for the Bucks tomorrow. But they've lost 3 in a row. They've lost 4 or 5. Not pretty. Not pretty. As they remain on this, what seems like a forever road trip. They returned home and lost to the Anthony Edwards-less Timberwolves in embarrassing fashion the other night. Then they go to San Antonio. They lose again.
Yeah, I think that Minnesota game broke them. That broke Giannis and broke the team.
139-106.
I think at that point they realized, oh, we're not good.
No, they're not. They're 7 games under 500. They're 17-24.
Yeah, we can't win with Giannis without Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert on the other side. Oh, we're not good. We're not good. It was a realization game.
The realization game. All right, that's Bucks talk on Sunday Karma. Palermo's picks coming up next as we wrap up Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin.
More Sunday Karma coming up on ESPN
Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
How do you stay humble when you're America's #1 wiper blade? That's what we're currently dealing with at Rain-X. Is it even possible to humble brag when you bully Mother Nature like we do? Do we sound too conceited if we keep repeating how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America? No, we'll take a lesson from our wipers and just keep doing our job with humility. As America's #1 wiper blade. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Selling your home during winter may surprise you. Serious buyers are still out there and often more eager to move.
Homes get strong offers this time of year, and with less competition, your listing can really shine.
I'm Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
And I'm Lindsay Bendler. Our team leads with faith, gratitude, and giving back, donating over $200,000 to local causes since 2020.
Tony Wendorf & Associates is ready to get to work for you with our white glove selling experience. Just search online, Tony Wendorf.
A real estate team that always leads with faith and gratitude.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
Here's to a Wisconsin winter you will always remember. To playing outdoors in a winter wonderland. Here's to cozying up around the fire and holding someone close. And to staying downtown, where the food scene makes your heart sing. And to celebrating moments frozen in time. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your winter getaway at travelwisconsin.com. Sponsored by Travel Wisconsin.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news, a rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS caused by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $152,000 in taxes because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a clear plan and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it, we help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait, call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee. It's that time.
Yes, it's finally here.
Craig makes his picks of the week.
You can bet the house on it.
Picks of the week on Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin. Presented by Palermo's Pizza, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Can't wait to see what happens next.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
I think Palermo's Pizza might have to be on the menu today as we watch some more playoff football.
Oh, yeah.
I've been hooked on the Detroit style. Pepperoni Detroit style. I tried the Supreme Detroit style as well, but pepperoni, I throw a little bit of hot honey on there. It's been my go-to.
Connie's barbecue chicken.
Yeah, that's your favorite.
Connie's barbecue
You've been hooked
chicken.
on that for months.
Yeah, the local syndics did not. They were out of stock the last time I went. I was a little disappointed, but I got to go re-up.
Palermo's is the best, though.
It's like $5.99 for Connie's right now, too.
Right here in Milwaukee. Well, there you go. There's your update from Kyle Wallace, who's the best deal finder in America.
Yeah, and Palermo's always has a good one, so that's why I stay eating it.
Get the best pizza in your local grocer's freezer, frozen pizza section. Love Palermo's pizza. I think I might have to throw in a pie today. All right, we got 2 games today after the 2 games yesterday in the National Football League. I mentioned the results earlier, but I'll mention them again. The Broncos beat the Bills in overtime in the first game yesterday, 33-30 the final. 5 turnovers for the Buffalo Bills. Really 4, but it was 5.
Poor Josh. No, dude, I'm going to send you a video. I'm going to send you a video for you to watch.
I don't know how that was an interception.
No, I want you to I just press send, and there's a video that I want you to watch with a great angle of the interception so you can actually see it. Because, you think you know what you're talking about, when in reality you don't. You don't. It was an interception. Look at it.
I'm watching it.
Is the ball ever in his full possession? How 2 men got their hands on the ball? 2 men had their hands on the ball.
Do you know this about me? I'm a huge Brandon Cooks fan.
Man, the most receptions in NFL playoff history
without
out of
a
touchdown. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Everywhere he goes, I mean, he makes plays.
Well, the other thing we had in that game was both guys that dropped a touchdown, one of which got called back. They ended up scoring touchdowns later. Lil Jordan Humphrey for Denver. I texted you Lil Jordan big drop and then Lil Jordan big catch.
When he dropped, I couldn't believe he dropped it. Literally, when the ball was in the air, I said, "Oh, touchdown!"
And then Keon Coleman, his only catch was that 10-yard touchdown. But he dropped one. It was a holding call, so it wouldn't have counted either way. But he dropped what would have been a touchdown, and then later caught one. So we had that 33-30. Broncos moving on. They will host the AFC Championship game next week. And then the nightcap last night stunk, 41-6. Drew Lock was in that game with like 10 minutes left. 41-6. Seattle will host the NFC Championship game coming up.
That's crazy. I mean, that's crazy what that team was able to do in 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years, McDonald was able to turn that around.
Yeah, no doubt. And Sam Darnold came through big in the big game when he was questionable coming in. All right, your first game today is Texans at Patriots. Drake May, his divisional round playoff debut. You like that, Kyle? Divisional round playoff debut?
Yes. I remember you said that earlier this week.
I said it was his playoff debut, even though he played last week. Yeah.
I do like Drake May, but I'm gonna tell you this: that Houston Texans team, this ain't new to them.
No, it's not.
They've been in the playoffs consistently. They've been building up. C.J. Stroud, to me, is more the X factor than Drake May is because I do think that Texas defense turns up against the Patriots in that cold weather they're going to be able to deal with. And I got a good feeling about the Texans finding a way to win. They're scary to me because that defense is for real. And all it takes is for C.J. to light it up. But a big piece they're missing, Nico. They're missing Nico, which is a huge miss for them.
Fair. No Nico Collins. He was ruled out, I think, on Thursday. So that is a big piece for that Texans offense. We'll see how C.J. Stroud does on the road in Foxborough. The Patriots are 3-point favorites. The over-under is 40.5. You like the Patriots in that one?
I'm going to Texans.
You are?
I'm going to Texans. I'm going to Texas to pull off the upset. So they've been working.
Texans Broncos is your AFC Championship game, then.
Yeah.
Jarrett Stidham versus C.J. Stroud, the game America will tune in for.
I'll be tuning in.
I mean, I will be too, but not really the quarterback matchup you're looking for in a championship game. The nightcap, we're all Rams fans today. It's Rams and Bears. Rams are 3.5-point favorites on the road.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough battle. Listen, the Bears aren't a bad team. It's going to be freezing cold. Those boys from L.A. got to come all the way out to the Midwest for this cold game. Matthew Stafford doesn't play that great in the cold. I'm taking the Rams, but I am a little bit nervous that the Bears are going to be able to compete today.
I've got the Rams.
Misery likes company. I need them to be miserable like us.
Yeah.
See why they've been hating on us for years.
Yeah. I'm sick of them, man. I'm sick of them. So let's
ESPN Wisconsin and ESPNWisconsin.com.
Fisco is always there for your